Welcome to another episode. This week, is a special episode, dear to my heart. I am interviewing a good friend of mine, someone who became a good friend of mine about 7 years ago. And it all started with me coming into a juice store. Here we are with Mikey Spivak. He is a founder of a cold plunge company, best cold plunge in, I don't know, I've only tried about 3 of them, different types, but in my opinion, the best operating cold plunge after my second purchase, I finally got it right, is a high standard for health and wellness. And Mikey's a unique person that opened up a business and stands behind health and wellness, not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually, a well-rounded person. Excited to interview him, and also someone who came on our workshops years ago. So, welcome, Mikey. Nice to have you here.
Thank you for having me, Adam. Wow, this is so formal.
Yeah, it's so formal. So, just to let you know, we're having a discussion,
Yeah,
and people are just listening to us.
that's it.
Okay, so we're not talking to them; we're talking to each other.
Yeah.
But we've never done this before, where I want to talk about your story as a person.
Mm.
So, first of all, give me a bit of background: who you are, where you come from. What's your life about? Just paint a picture for us.
I'm about to tell who I am to a guy who knows who I am so much already. This is awesome. Well, I'm Michael Spivak. I'm 25 years old. And yes, I did co-found a cold plunge company. And how I got to co-founding that company is actually a good story, which you very much know a lot about it, but we're gonna share. We're gonna go into the nitty-gritty of it. I'm one of 5 boys, and there's a lot to uncover essentially around who I am, and I think that's what we're gonna get into on this podcast right now. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be a
So
good time.
let's talk about where our relationship started
Yeah,
and sort of what brought you into, I would say, a transformative experience, not just because
yeah,
you went and came on one of our workshops, but
Mhm.
how that has shifted the dynamic of your entire family
Yeah.
and where we are today. So tell me about that day in the store. What was life like before Mikey started working on himself?
Yeah, it's a great question. I was 18 years old, just finishing high school, barely graduated high school. Just pure out of not showing up and not going. It's barely almost
What does it mean barely graduated?
barely graduated means there's a certain amount of absences that you can't have at the end of high school. Like if you get 60 absences, you automatically essentially fail,
Mm.
and then you have to redo like certain amount of credits.
And you were
I
like
was at like
59.
55, yeah.
55.
So I was right there. I was almost there.
So what was occupying that space, those 55 absences? What were you doing?
I was doing everything but not going to class. I was going to play sports. I was skipping class to go work. I remember I would go work for my cousin Ryan. He would pick me up at like lunchtime, and I would help him go paint for 3-4 hours, make like $200, and then come back to the class at like 2 o'clock, and school would end at 3. And I would just do anything that was not going to school. I really didn't like school. It didn't serve me. I didn't feel good being there. And then the other times I would just be socializing and hanging around with friends and yeah, doing anything but not going to class. And I would only go to the classes that I would actually like the teacher in. So if I liked the teacher, then I would go. But I didn't have too many of those experiences. But yeah,
And your parents knew that you were,
no, my parents didn't know. No,
they didn't know.
our setup back then was instead of my parents' email being in the system, because every time you're late or you're in absence, they send an email. So I would have access to their email. I would have their email and password, and I would basically reply as if I was them.
Oh, wow. So that's a cool story. What would have
It's
happened if they would have saw it?
honestly, my mom did see it a couple times, and she supported me. She
Just like,
always
yeah, whatever you're doing, it's okay.
yeah. She was never honestly. She was never worried. She was never like stressing out at the fact that I wasn't really going to class at certain points. She always believed that I would be okay,
Interesting.
and I would be good.
She
So
didn't she didn't have the mentality that you gotta be by the book, go to school, get a
No,
degree, go to
no,
college or university.
no. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, because she didn't have to do any of that, right?
Interesting.
She came from a world of not even knowing English and then raising a family and building a $1 million business at the time, and yeah, she was able to do it with no resources. So I think that kind of created the belief in her and her kids that, hey, if I didn't have to go that route, my kids also don't have to go that route, and they'll be fine no matter what route they go, because she was literally in that position in her life. There's so many obstacles. There's so many pathways that it could have went totally south and totally the opposite direction of where it is now, but she made it happen. So I think we've as a family, and I think for me growing up, I always felt that no matter what, even if I was the underdog or I didn't know how to do something, I would always end up figuring it out and becoming the best at it. That was like a common theme.
Mm.
Remember, I used to walk around as a kid, and my mom would always be just calling me the best, and I would repeat what she was telling me, so I would say I'm the best, and it was just a common theme that was going around.
You said it to your friends also, I'm sure.
Not so much, yeah, but yeah,
So, so you're 55
yeah,
absences.
barely graduated.
Your mother's probably appreciating that you're not going to school because she doesn't really care about school anyways.
Yeah,
So
they just had a
she's
nice like 40,000 RESP for me that I just didn't take advantage of.
uh
So, because they double it up, the government, right?
right.
When you go to university. So in my case, money just went back to my parents. The money they invested went back to my parents.
So you save the money.
Yeah, so we saved. They got back like 40 grand, something like
Okay.
that. I remember on one of the last days that I got called into the principal office, he's like, I need you and your parents to come because I need to explain to them basically that you may not be graduating unless you do something.
Hmm.
So obviously my parents didn't come. My brother Aaron and Near came as my parents.
Really?
Yeah, it was so funny. We walk into the office and it's like me in the middle, and then it's Aaron, who's like, he's like what 21 or 22 at the time, and Near. And it's so funny. They're like pretending to be mad at me. They're like, Mike, you gotta show up, and like siding with the
They
principal.
came in as your two fathers, or they knew that they were your older brothers?
Near came in as like my father, and Aaron came in as like my brother.
Oh, okay. And the school accepted it.
Yeah, they didn't ask questions.
Uh,
They just like, you came in with that. That's the role we're playing. No questions asked. And then I remember us like agree with the principal. Basically, we came to a solution that I would need to work at the store to get my credits. So it was like
oh
a
wow,
work for
so this is
credits.
really all part of the story. I didn't hear this part.
Yeah, yeah. And then I remember leaving the principal office because the principal was so mad at me, and my brothers were like acting like they were mad at me. And then we left, and we were just laughing so much about the whole scenario, how we pulled that off. And the only thing we really remember about that story is the fact that they came and they played that role for me and also in front of the principal. So that was funny. Anyways, we came to a solution. I needed to work in Revitalize to get credits to basically graduate.
And for those who don't know what Revitalize is, just what is that all about?
Yeah, it's a cold pressed juice company. Started out of my house in the kitchen with my mom, coming back with the realization that many people need to do this in about around 2010, 2011. And my mom went to LA, had an amazing experience doing a very long juice fast, and she came back with lots of fire and passion towards bringing this to her friends first. So basically started out of my house with her friends wondering, what did you just go on? Where did you go? What did you experience? And my mom is like, no problem, I can do that for you. See, like another thing of like, she just did a long juice fast for a couple of months and then came back, and then boom, right away has the belief in herself to provide it to her friends. Um, there's like unwavering belief in self that she can do whatever she
She
wants.
benefits from something, she comes back and she
She
gives it.
boom does it. Yeah. So she did like a first case study. I don't know how many people it was. I think it was like 5 or 6 people. Again, I was like 14 at the time, and all those people did a 3-day juice cleanse, and they all achieved the goals that they wanted, and they all felt much better than they did before the juice fast. And then that started to ripple, and more people started coming, more friends started coming. It started to be 10 juice cleanses, 20 juice cleanses, 30, 50, 60. then my house became a full factory. But at the same time, this business was also created for my family to survive in terms of financially, everything to keep the house up. And all my brothers, once they started seeing the traction that my mom started to create, they essentially quit their jobs. My dad got a stroke at the same time. Aaron was playing hockey in university, and it was just kind of all happening at once. So then everyone came back to the house, came together as a team, and really made this thing into a business, not only just to make a business, but to like actually survive and pay the mortgage and pay the rent and pay off the debt that was accumulated throughout the time. And my dad eventually lost his job because of the stroke, so he couldn't drive for a full year. His license got taken away. So everyone kind of just came back together. Daniel was playing professional hockey, easily could have played in the NHL, sacrificed that, came back to the home to basically keep the family alive. And
Wow.
that was the make or break point, you could say. Because at the time, my mom was lost her other business that was fueling a lot of things. My dad lost his job because of the stroke, so there was really no other option but this.
So you guys were squeezed and you made juice.
And
That's how it happens.
then the juice became worth the squeeze.
Yeah, listen, you got squeezed and you found the juice.
And you found the juice, exactly.
So that's wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're
So
you're doing it out of your house. You're coming together, and then
yeah, coming together. Then eventually, about a year and a half of doing that, I think that's
and
the
it was
right
paying the
timeline.
bills at the time.
Yeah, it was paying. It was paying enough bills. Yeah,
Wow,
it was paying the mortgage. It was able to keep things alive. Started to have like
that's a lot of juices.
lots of people every like week coming to pick up like juice cleanses. Like we had a full factory in my house. It was like it became literally a factory.
And so one trade secret, like what juicer were you using at the time? Because I know probably today you have like this
So we first started
industrial
with like
juicer.
that small one, like the small like one that you can buy for your house. Like that was like the first like my mom just did a trial, and then eventually we went and they bought like a much bigger, more industrial type machine, but it wasn't cold pressed. Cold pressed is probably the size of this room. It's ginormous.
Hmm.
It's a big machine. So we started with this like machine where you push it in and it blender out, juice out. Essentially like a much bigger version of that home juicer that everyone can buy now. And I remember every time they would go, the juice would splat all over the roof. And I remember over the year of the time, the whole roof was just juice splat. And then my mom was like, when we open up a store and we make enough money, the first thing we're doing is we're fixing my roof.
Yeah,
That
wow,
was pretty funny. And then it ended up actually happening.
of
And
course.
then, yeah, the first store opened up after a year and a half of saving up money and my brothers and everyone asking for favors. Actually, a cool story came from a tragedy, but to a win is that the point of time when my dad got the stroke, my brothers were going around to the banks essentially and trying to get a line of credit, a loan, just trying to get some sort of capital to open up the first store. Because I think we needed over like 100 grand or something like that. And I remember a couple days before my dad got the stroke, the accountant who was helping us trying to get the loan came to us and basically gave us the bad news that we're not going to be able to get the loan. So it was like a big crumble in my family because the whole plan was set. The landlord gave us the rental here at Dufferin Center. Everything was ready to go, and all we needed was his last final capital, and he didn't give it to us. This is not good. I don't know what's going to happen. And then a couple of days later, there's a lot of stress going on in the family, like very high stress, probably most high stress I've ever seen my family be in. And then boom, my dad got a stroke. And the moment he got the stroke, the whole story with that. Anyways, fast forward, his stroke ended up getting us the money that we needed to open up the store. Can't forget how much money it was. Maybe like it was like 50 grand or 100 grand or something like that. And we got the money instantly within that month. And right away took that money, opened up the store, and then boom, Revitalize was created. But it was like a rebirth because our entire family's chapter before that moment is complete. It's done. And now it's like, boom, new chapter started. So it was a very sad and painful time watching my dad go through the stroke, but if that didn't happen, we would not even close to be where we are today.
Wow. It's like
So
a blessing in disguise.
it's a blessing in disguise. Yeah.
And he's okay today. Like no side effects from the stroke, nothing.
No, thank God. Yeah, it was pretty minor.
He,
It was
he
scary
took one
though.
for the team.
Exactly. He took one for the team. Yeah. Yeah. He literally took one for the
It
team
was
so
literally
hard.
a team effort.
It was literally a team effort. Yeah. I remember Daniel was staying in Texas, and he was with the family because he got like a pretty serious surgery on his shoulder, which put him out of his hockey season for a full year. And the family that did the surgery for him also housed him, so they also took care of him as well. And they were also offering capital, and yeah, there's a lot of key factors to helping making that revised size store happen. But it all started with my mom initiating it, and then everyone coming in and putting the puzzle pieces together to create what we have today.
Wow.
So if it wasn't for Revitalize, if it wasn't that moment, there wouldn't be Hush, there wouldn't be culture, there wouldn't be anything.
So that was like the beginning of all the beliefs in starting and flourishing in businesses. You're saying
Yeah.
for you and your brothers.
Yeah, well, even before that, we saw my mom build a multi-million-dollar nanny business while raising 5 kids, and we're going nuts. And we're also like, my brothers were young and playing hockey, and yeah, it was a constant theme.
So you guys have always been built with this intense drive to go and accomplish and do and succeed.
Yeah, it's part of the survival mechanism we got from my parents.
Good. So you got that from your mother. You believed in yourself. Okay, fine. You barely
Graduated high school, yeah,
and then you're
and then
set to
boom.
come
Now
to
I'm
the
like,
store.
now I'm working in the store. Yeah, now I'm working at Dufferin Center. I'm 17. This is after 3 years of it already being open, and or 2 years of it being open already. And then I started working there. That was my plan. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna work here. I'm gonna figure out what's gonna happen in my life. So yeah, it was not so. It's distracting a little bit. It's okay. You can cut it though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then that's where it started, essentially, working in the store and working with my family, working with my mom was not easy for me at the time. And yeah, started coming into struggles, not showing up at the store on time, not doing things that the
So
way
he
they
doesn't show
wanted
up
me
to
to do it.
school. He doesn't show up to the store. Yeah.
Doesn't
Okay,
show up
fine.
to work. Yeah,
He
yeah,
doesn't show up to work. He's
Yeah.
late.
yeah. Late, yeah, definitely late to the store, which would trigger a lot of people around me, which was my family at the time, because there wasn't too many employees then. And yeah, it became a boiling pot, essentially, between me and my family. And my mom would always take my back, so my brothers would be like, "No, don't let's get him out of here." And my mom would always take my back. But then it came to a certain point where I did it in front of my mom, where I'd show up late, and then she would freak out at me because she was like, "I always had your back. I'm getting it, but you still can't do it." And
So she would defend, and then when she was at the store and you showed up late, she felt the consequences of her backing you up, which is you're not showing up on time, and she's like, what's going on over
Yeah.
here? And she starts freaking out.
yeah, and then she starts to just giving it to me. Yeah, she gave it to me pretty good.
Saying in general, or this is a story that you're telling me?
This is a story for sure. This is a story that I'm telling you. In general, it would happen, but I think to the moment where I met you and
Ooh, here we go.
when I got into coming to the workshop, I think that was the finale. That was like, it was like a year of backing me up. It was many days, and then boom, I came late one time, and it just exploded the entire thing. And she just couldn't take it anymore, and we started fighting and arguing and just saying things that you never want to say to your mother or your son. And this is happening like in the Revised High store.
And I'm the only one there. I walk into the store.
Yeah.
And
Thank God there wasn't other people there. That would have been.
I just wanted to come in, grab my juice.
Yeah. Well, you would come in every day at like the same time,
Yeah.
same time, and then just the one time you decided to come, not at the same time.
Yeah.
Usually you come at like 7:05. This time you came at like, I
I
don't know.
wonder what I
8:30.
was doing that
That's
threw
threw that schedule off,
I
right?
gotta go back in time and figure that out.
And the fact that there wasn't other random people there that could have ruined so many things. Like, imagine you seeing like the mother and the son of the business that you're coming to and buying juice from, arguing. Like,
I think I got my juice for free that day. I
I
don't
think you
think you
might
guys
have.
even noticed, and you didn't charge me for that.
Yeah.
I still owe you some money for that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So just from my perspective, I come in and I see this whole experience, and I'm like, okay. And I'm in my mode, especially 7 years. I was like fully into like these like these metal detectors
Uh-huh.
where you walk around with it and you find where the metal is.
Uh-huh.
For me, it's like workshop detectors. Anyone who could possibly be fit to come on a workshop. I was so open for that.
Yeah, you're
And
recruiting,
I'm
full
looking at
recruitment
this
mode.
17-year-old, 18-year-old kid, and I'm like, his mother just yelled at him. He needs to shift his life.
Yeah,
And whatever I saw over there, I was like, okay, Mikey, we need to have a discussion.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We need that
And you
discussion.
need to come on a workshop.
I think the one of the cool parts is the fact that when I was behind the kiosk, me and my mom were. It was emotional. We were crying. We were screaming. We were saying very bad words. It was not respectful. It was not a respectful conversation. It was literally both of our just yeah, our childhood coming right out there. Anyways, she stormed out. She's like, I'm not doing that anymore. Rightfully so. And I stayed there because I'm still working the shift, and this is only an hour into the shift. And we still got a whole day going. And then I'm very emotional and I'm crying, and then you're there, and I'm like, I can't believe this guy just saw it all. And I didn't know what you were doing. I didn't know like that you were running workshops or you were in the work or at all. But I was so emotional that I didn't really care. And then you came to me and you asked me a very vulnerable question. And you asked me, do I still want a relationship with my mother? And then I said yes. And then you invited me to come on a trip. And truthfully, I thought that I was coming on the trip to make more money so that I don't have to work in my family business.
I think that's what I told you
I think
probably.
that's what you told me. I think you told me like, if you come in this workshop, you're gonna learn how to make so much money that you don't even need to be here anymore. And then I was like, okay, let's do it. And
But unfortunately, you're this 18-year-old kid, and
yeah,
your parents aren't too happy about your performance in the store, so you don't have money.
yeah.
So we decide, okay,
Well, I
what's
had like 8,000. I had like 6 or 8,000 in my bank account at that
really?
time.
Because I didn't think you had any money. So I was like, trying to barter with you.
We bartered, but I paid. I paid half. I paid half money.
You paid half, and the other half was in juices,
The
which
other
his
half I
family is still embroigus with me today about. They're still pissed off.
Yeah, because you wanted juices so badly, and
Oh, I love
I didn't.
juices.
Yeah, so
But more so, I wanted to help you figure out a way to get on this workshop.
yeah, you
And I'm not
wanted.
sure why I believe that you should even come. It's the most ridiculous thing ever. Like an
Yeah,
18-year-old kid
yeah.
is not your typical workshop type profile
No.
because who at 18 wants to take their lives seriously?
Hmm.
So it's more like, you're 35-year-old, you're married, you got kids, you got stress, responsibilities, but an 18-year-old kid.
Hmm.
So we rolled the dice a little bit
We
and we
definitely
brought
rolled the
him on.
dice. Yeah, we definitely rolled the dice. But I think the biggest lesson here, I think that actually a lot of people could take away is the fact that when you saw me in the emotional moment, when I was literally crying, 18 years old too, not much awareness at the time. You could have easily came to me and tried to soothe me, make me feel better, try and maybe fix the situation, maybe start giving me advice of how I need to go back and approach my mother, or be like, hey, like you maybe shouldn't have talked to your mother that way, and I think you should probably go and talk to her after. Like you could have taken the conversation probably 25 different directions. Um, but maybe it was because you were so horny and the magnet of the workshop was like, I need to get this guy on,
All I
so
could
I
think
need to
about.
ask him this question. So maybe it's a little bit of that, but at the same time, I think it's a good relationship tip is you didn't try and fix the situation. You didn't try and soothe the situation. You didn't try and make me feel better. You didn't try any of that. You just asked me one simple question, which was, do you want a better relationship with your mother? And I was in the sadness already. I was already crying. I was feeling it. And it was the easiest answer of all time. It was a yes. And it was like, okay. Then the next step came of me coming, but I probably wouldn't have said yes and I probably wouldn't have got there if you didn't ask me the right question. So I think that's actually a big, I always remember that moment because I think that could have been taking a million different directions. And you being in it and knowing what space I was in and you knew how to hold the space, you were able to come to me with the right question, which actually ended up me motivating me to come and do what we're about to talk about soon. So yeah, I think that's a very, very key and crucial point. And then I'm 18 years old and you're like, come on a workshop in Chicago. I'm like, what the hell? Am I going to drive to Chicago right now? I'm fly? You're like, no, just fly. And by the way, the context is this is on I think a Tuesday. And the workshop starts on the Friday. And I need to get there Thursday night. And this is 2 days away. So last minute flights are always a little bit expensive. So whatever, I went on and booked a flight. It was like $600, 650. Never flew by myself before. Or maybe I did. Maybe I did like a time before, but yeah, never really did. And I had no idea where I was going. I was going on an experience that I had zero context of. You didn't really want to explain it to me, even though I asked many times. So I full blown thought I was going on a workshop to learn how to make money so that I could leave my family business and individuate and be on my own, because that's what I felt like needed to happen. And yeah, booked a flight, paid you half in juices, paid you half in e-transfer. And you told me to go. I think the workshop at the time was like 2,500 or 3 grand USD.
No, I think it was much cheaper.
More
than
than that.
No.
No, I think it was 2,500
No, I don't
or
think
2 grand.
so. I think it was probably 1,800 at that point.
USD though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
USD.
Yeah, USD.
It's
Yeah.
probably 1,800. I didn't know where we are going. It was the first time we were using
This
that
place.
space in Chicago. First time we were doing a workshop in Chicago.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
even forget sometimes to mention that we've done workshops in Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, workshop. It
Workshop.
was the first and the last.
It was the first and the last.
Space that opened up just for Mikey.
Literally. That was a special space.
Yeah.
Yeah. The people that came out of that one was good. But yeah, I came to Chicago, no idea where I'm going, came to this random hotel resort and I don't even know where in Chicago, took a Uber. And meanwhile, I'm going on this experience that you probably tried to get my other brothers to come on before me,
Yeah.
but they said no, or whatever resistance was there. And I guess I was the easy bait.
Low hanging fruit.
Low hanging fruit, yeah. And yeah, I came to this workshop. I remember showing up and going to the room, and the guy that I was rooming with was like 26 or 25 at the time, and then I remember the rest of the crowd just being like 35 plus or 30
Was the
plus.
guy Schlemmy? Was the
Yeah,
guy?
yeah.
Nah,
Hiller.
he was
Schlemmy
21.
Hiller. Yeah,
Yeah, he was 21.
he was 21. Oh yeah, he was
he's
21
a
then.
Success story in himself.
Yeah, he
Yes.
is a success story in himself. Yeah, but yeah, we were like the two young guys in the room, and the rest of the crowd was like 30s, 40s, 50s. I remember there's some grandpas on it. I was like, what is going on? I have no idea what I just came to. I'm like, fuck. And then I remember that first circle up, I was like shaking in my boots. I was like, oh my God, what did I just come to? But I also, at the same time, was so fired up because the moment I heard what Mo and all of you guys were speaking about at that time, I was like, okay, I'm getting where I'm at. I remember after that first one, then the first check-in came around. I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna say? What am I gonna do? And then even leading up to that, I remember my brother giving me a text saying, make sure to be present. And I'm like, oh, okay, I don't know what that means, but I guess we'll figure that out. And then my mom sent you a 20-minute long voice note that you told me, but couldn't show me. And there's a lot of build up to this moment. And then yeah, it was truly a life transforming experience. It was changed me forever.
So you don't know what presence is. You don't know what working on yourself is. You think it's about making money.
Yeah. No
And
idea.
what'd you learn?
What did I learn from that workshop?
Yeah.
I learned a lot. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about my relationship with God. I listened to a lot of other people that probably had a lot worse problems than I did at the time. And I'm like, what the hell am I doing here? I'm like 18 years old and like I'm listening to problems where they're like real issues and real things that could use this work. And I'm like, what the hell? My life is good. But it wasn't actually good. And yeah, I started initially, we did lots of breath work. We did lots of facilitations, and I started going into around my relationship with my mother on the Saturday. And that experience was surreal because on your workshops at the time, and still at the time, it's a men's only workshop. And on a men's workshop, there's no woman there, right? There's not supposed to be any woman. And we're in Chicago for the first time and the last time, and there's no woman, and it's only men. So I remember when I was trying to get deep into what I was feeling around my relationship uh, to my parents, I couldn't go there. There was a lot of resistance for me to go and feel and like really go into the emotions I had around them, and I was doing everything that it took to get there, and nothing worked. And the one woman that was there, all of a suddenly at that time, essentially just came into my space. And the moment that I saw her, everything, all hells broke loose, and that's when I finally tapped into it. That's when I
What'd
got
you tap
into it.
into?
I tapped into my sadness. I tapped into my frustration and my grief around not feeling like I was being loved, essentially, as a kid growing up. And it was very hard for me to feel that and to even go there because I shoved it down for so long and I didn't believe it. I didn't want to believe it, but deep down I did. And that's what this workshop essentially was massive for me. Was I was able to tap into a jar of feelings that I've shoved down for only 18 years, not 30 years.
Not as bad as the other guys.
Not as bad as the other guys, which is why it's beneficial to do this work as young as you can to start working on yourself. And I remember that same night on Saturday when I had a really big breakthrough around my relationship with a big breakthrough with my relationship with myself and also in how I relate to my parents. I remember leaving that experience and everyone's asking me, they're like, wow, you're so lucky that you're doing this at your age. Like, I can't imagine who you're going to become when you become older and you have a wife and you have kids and you start a business and you start actually taking responsibility for a lot in your life and taking action on the things that you want. Like, you're going to be an absolute powerhouse. I remember thinking, like, I remember hearing what they're telling me and I'm like, I don't know what that's gonna look like. I don't really know what that means, but I guess I'll just take it. And I was like still resistant to hearing that. And then I remember the Sunday we do the breath work after Saturday, where you're going deep into the process and deep into my wounds and my traumas and my emotions. You do this big explosive breath work, which was one of the best experiences I've had. And I was just my heart was so open, the vessel was wide open, and I just breathed, and within 20 minutes of breathing, I was just, poof, just went right up and right back into the feeling. And then this one was around a different experience I had around my relationship with hockey and my father and everything that was around that experience because that was a big focal point in my life where I didn't feel like I really went all the way into hockey. I had a lot of regret around it. A lot of my life, I was always being brought late to hockey. It felt like I was always the not like the first priority when it came to hockey, more like I was the last priority.
Mhm.
And I had a lot of feelings around that, a lot of anger, a lot of sadness, and that breathwork just exploded those doors right open, and I walked right through. And it was yeah, it was my whole entire life changed right after that experience.
So I understand what you're saying by the emotions and the doors opening and the walking through,
Yeah,
but people that might be listening might be
yeah,
like one person even
yeah.
that doesn't know what that means. Like, what does it mean that everything exploded open? What happened for you?
My entire paradigm, my entire belief system of how I looked through, like how I viewed life, the lenses that I looked at life through, cracked and the glasses fell off. And
What was the paradigm that you're living your life by?
I
up
was
until that
not.
point?
I did not believe that I was good enough to absolutely do anything. I
Hmm.
was full blown depressed. I didn't want to wake up to life, which is why I
Sleep so much.
was late and yeah, like sleeping so much and was constantly my integrity was out the window. I I full blown did not believe that I was worthy of deserving anything.
Okay, but circumstance showed you that hockey was last for you, or you weren't taking it
Yeah,
on time,
yeah,
and circumstance was really. It looked like that is the case.
yeah.
Maybe they weren't valuing. Like, what does it mean when you did a breath work that broke open and things changed from there? Like, walk me through that process.
Like in the breath work, it was an experience for me where I literally went back into the moment where I felt like I was the last priority. Like I went back into the feelings that I was literally feeling in the moment where I learned that I don't matter. That was like that was a big thing for me at that time. I didn't feel like I mattered. I was taking late to work. I was the last resort when it came to it. I got all the hand me downs of all the hockey equipment. You know, my family, my brothers would, my parents would go to my older brother's hockey games. Sometimes they wouldn't come to my hockey games. Like it just felt like I never got the investment that they got. So I literally felt like I was the last resort. I felt like I didn't matter.
So you breathe into that, you feel that, and then how does that change?
How does that change? It changes by literally me feeling those feelings. And I was feeling extremely sad. I was feeling extremely angry. And it was like the first time I ever let myself feel those feelings.
Mm,
And once I started feeling literally the feeling in the moment and breathing through it and screaming it out and crying it out and going right back into it, I started to hit a desire of mine that I truly, truly wanted
which was
was to be loved and cared for and to be seen. Yeah.
okay.
And
And for people wondering, like, how does that change you walking out of that workshop? Like, okay, fine, you weren't taken to
I,
hockey, or they didn't come to your games as much, and
yeah.
you have this anger, frustration, this sadness. You're crying, you're expressing,
Uh huh.
and then you connect to your desire of wanting to be loved
Mm-hmm.
because that's really where the anger and the sadness come from. But then how does that shift you
How does that integrate into my life?
out of this workshop? Like, how do you get something from that? Like, what is the value of going into your feelings and breathing into them? Like, I want people to really understand what that means.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good question. You know what? It's hard to explain.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain. We're gonna do our best to try and explain it. I think for me, in that moment when I allowed myself and gave myself permission to actually go there, like what we just spoke about, I it literally felt in a matter of an hour or two or a couple days right after that, my whole entire belief around myself completely changed. Like all those beliefs of me not mattering and not being good enough, it was still there, but I gave space for it to be seen. And for me, I came out of that experience feeling extremely empowered. Like I came off of it feeling like I was on top of the freaking world because there was nothing that could hold me down because I literally just went in and sat and felt all my vulnerabilities that I was shoving down for so long and all the beliefs and all the demons that I didn't want to face and I faced a good amount of them in that experience so that when now I come back into the real world, I actually gave myself the needs that I essentially didn't get, which is what created that belief that I don't matter. So I
Mhm.
literally went into the experience of experiencing it and then coming out on the other side and giving myself what I didn't get as a child.
Right.
Um, and to me, that was so empowering because it's like, oh my God, I'm taking responsibility for my life, but my life is my emotions, my beliefs, the paradigm that I was living through. I took responsibility for all of it. And I it felt and it is an experience of literally leaving prison, like meets rhyme, right?
Yeah.
Mitzrayim for all the non-Hebrew people is Egypt. Is
A place that we were slaves
yes.
to circumstance. So I'll just explain one more point just on
Yeah.
what you're saying. So I'll just give a little bit more clarity is literally when you didn't feel those feelings as
Yeah.
a kid because you didn't have the space or permission to,
Yeah.
because no one would have been there for you for it.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, you couldn't express them, whether, you know, your parents didn't hold that space for you, or, you just feelings were dealt with in interesting ways in your home. So that feeling of not being felt anchored a belief in your body.
Hmm.
And the belief was that I'm not lovable. Now, what happens when I make space and open up is saying my feelings are valid to feel by breathing into them and
Hmm.
letting them emerge.
Yeah.
And underneath that is also, I deserve space for this. So my feelings are valid, therefore I'm valid for what I'm going through. And all I really need to do is feel through that, and then I
Yeah.
come back to myself.
Yeah.
A lot of times what I'll tell people is you don't have problems in your life. You just have feelings that you don't want to feel or you
Yeah.
didn't feel.
Yeah.
Once you feel them, the problem seems to like fizzle away. It's
Lines
like,
up a
what
little
did I
bit.
do already? I just felt my feelings.
Hmm.
Is because where I got stuck is emotionally,
Hmm.
and I never worked through that. And therefore, I'm feeling the heaviness and the stuckness. Almost like until that moment that you did breath work, you were stuck. And you were living from a place of stuckness.
Yeah.
And you were facing life through the stuckness. You
Hmm.
breathe through it, it comes out, and now you feel lighter and like, oh, this
I'm,
is who I am.
yeah. I'm not stuck anymore.
I'm light.
Uh-huh.
I can I can believe in this, and it doesn't feel like this tension and energy to believe that I'm lovable.
Hmm.
It
Doesn't feel
feels
so
like it feels
difficult.
more like a choice.
Yeah. 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 I came out of that experience with a choice. Literally. I literally came out of an experience with a choice, but also I felt empowered to make the choice.
Mm.
I didn't just like come out of it being like, oh, I'm gonna make a choice to do this. It's like, no, I came out with it with like devotion and like commitment to myself that I'm going to do this. Um, and I remember a big decision coming out of that workshop was, am I gonna go back and work at that store, or am I not gonna go? And then I remember we spoke about it. We say don't make any big life decisions after an experience like this. But I didn't listen to that, and I made a big decision. And I came back home, and I told my parents and my family that I'm stop working in the store, and everyone was pretty much fine for the most part of it, but it was a little bit harder for my parents because they really wanted me to be with them, which I can understand why.
Mm.
And I made the hard decision, and at the time it didn't feel so difficult. It felt so right. And that's when the journey began, when I came back home.
And then your high school wrote you a letter saying, "Sorry, you don't work in the store. You fail."
No, this is after high school. This is after after I made it through.
So you did your working hours already, just to
Yeah,
make sure
we
that
did the working hours already. Yeah, this was after high school when I was figuring out my life and what am I gonna do and all that fun stuff. And then yeah, I
okay.
made the decision to leave, and then I went to go and hand out flyers in December and January at Front and Spadina at the subway station for $50 every 30 minutes, and I would work like 2 hours. I would make like $200 every 2 hours, and just standing outside in negative 30-degree temperatures, snowing. And I remember the first time I didn't come prepared at all, no gloves, nothing, and I was just like handing out flyers, just trying to figure out what am I gonna do. But most importantly, I felt really called to the work, and I felt very empowered. And I'm like, oh my God, if I can gain so much from this, everyone can gain so much from this. Like, no one is, not only these type of people need therapy. It's like everyone needs to work on themselves. Everyone has a relationship to life, which could be worked on, and things that maybe hold them back from getting to where they want to be or see themselves being, but they just can't. They feel stuck, which is where I was at.
So talk to me about some of the changes that happened as a result of the workshop. Like, where did that take you in your life
That took
after
me
the handing out the
handing out the flyers.
the
Yeah, I
flyers?
started going on a journey of going all into this work. That was like I went all into it. And I started opening up an Instagram page, and I remember it was called Empower Yourself. And I was putting out content consistently about all the things that I was learning about myself. And I started taking Tony Robbins courses. I started reading his books. I started doing a lot of courses with you. We started going into it. We spent a lot of time together. You invested heavily into me, and we started learning different types of breath works. We started going into NLP. We started doing emotion code. We started going into all these different types of certifications and modalities. And you were always doing your own modalities and learning and getting more certificates. And you were nice enough to give me those for free. I remember we'd come to your office and you'd be doing a course and you would just give me the account login and password anytime you were doing something, just to, because you knew I really wanted it, and you always gave it to me.
Yeah, and you were broke as a joke. You just are out of a job, and no one was paying your Revitasize salary.
No one was paying me nothing.
Still living at home.
Yeah.
And we had a unique relationship of
Yeah, we did.
Just hanging around each other. It was like almost like the perfect storm. Also with COVID.
Yeah, and COVID hit right after that, and yeah, and then you started running workshops, and you brought me on as like a support staff, and you started training me, and you really invested a lot of time into my training, and that essentially helped me gain a lot of the skills. And not only that, we also started doing the trainings together, and there was like a lot of learning and experience in that 2-3 years that we were basically doing that consistently. So that was basically my full time. And then it was just little hustles here and there to try and make any amount of money to not have to worry about finances too much, even though that was a big worry for a long time. And yeah, and then COVID hit, and then the world changed, and including my life changed. And funny enough, we still ran intimate workshops during COVID, because I never believed in that thing for 1 second. And we were going heavily into breathwork training at that time. I remember, I think we did, I don't know if the Dan Brule training was at that time.
It was right before COVID.
Right before COVID, yeah. And then we were very, very deep into those modalities. And then winter hit, COVID hit, everyone's stuck in their house. They were like, what the hell are we going to do here? So I'm like, my brother went to Mexico for a couple of months, and it was just me and my dad. My mom was stuck in Israel at the time. And I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? I just did all this training, all this learning so much over these last 3 years. It's 2020 going to 2021. And I'm like, all right, go into my garage, take out a chest freezer that has a bunch of frozen fish and frozen chicken. No one knew that I was doing it. Called over my friend. I'm like, I need you to help me lift this. Took it, brought it to my backyard, midwinter, filled it up with water, and then boom, here comes the cold plunge journey. It's committed to myself and committed to all the people on Instagram that was following me at the time. It was like, I don't know, 2,000 followers. I'm like, I'm going to do a 60-day cold plunge, but not only am I going to just cold plunge and post a story on it, I'm going to document what my experience was. So what was I feeling before? What was I feeling during? What was I feeling after? And then what came up for me throughout that process. And it would be like a daily diary. So I would post on my story, and it would be like day 1, temperature X, weather outside, doom, time I was in for, and then journal. And I would post that every day. And I did it for 60 days. I didn't miss a day, didn't cheat it, hit it every single time. It was from December till like pretty much end of January. It was a 2-month long in the heart of freezing cold winter. I remember one of the months I even went to Bond Lake with your brother and my brother, and we took a massive rock. And
I was also there.
You were there, yeah. yeah. You were there. We took a massive rock and boom, cut through it. That was probably not smart, taking a rock and smashing the ice to make a hole, but we did it.
But I didn't think we were going to be able to make that hole. I was like, these guys are a bunch of idiots. And he's taking big rocks, and the guy, this ogre of a guy, takes the rock and he just smashes it 2 times, and it just goes boom, right through.
Perfect hole.
Perfect hole.
And then that was already like an hour and a half of being outside and like so cold, freezing, toes were done, hands were see you later. But we went in, And that was part of I think the 60 days journey that I was on. So we did many experiences like that, made it happen at all times. Even if I didn't plunge in the morning, I would make sure to plunge at any certain time of the day. And I remember the funniest thing is that when I was doing this at my house, every time I went to plunge, my dad was saying, "What the hell are you doing?" Like he started screaming at me, "You're going into freezing cold water. Are you nuts? What are you doing? You're bringing water in the house. You're wet. It's cold outside." And I'm just like, I gotta do this. I gotta keep going. I gotta keep going. I kept it going. And slowly, eventually, people started actually wanting to come to my house and actually cold plunge. And at the beginning, they were calling me nuts. And frankly, after they started calling me nuts, they're like, "Oh, I want to come try what the hell you're doing because I'm journaling and I'm journaling how I'm feeling." So they resonated with what I was feeling. So it was like 5 people, then 10 people. And I remember one time I did like a breath work in my house, and then we did cold plunging and sauning. And the common denominator of people coming to my house leaving was saying that they feel so much better than how they felt coming in. I was like, this is exactly this is all I want to do. I want to bring people together, and I want to help people feel a little bit better than what they were feeling before. And there we go.
It's kind of like your mother's story where, she did this juice fast
Yeah.
and then she's like, "Oh, I want my friends and this." And next thing you know,
Yeah.
it just grows. And then, that's like the incubator.
Yeah.
And then just to fast forward where you are today with that.
Fast forward to where I am today, my business partner comes to me with the idea and says, "Yo, we can make this product actually happen." There's only like 1 or 2 companies at the time. They're like 10 to 15 to 25,000. They're big, hard acrylic, bulky products. And he came to me with the idea of creating a portable cold plunge system. And at the time, you couldn't go on Alibaba or anywhere on the internet to find the product. We actually go to the factory and make the product and transform drop stitch technology that makes paddle boards into a tub, and go to a CNC, an air conditioning factory that makes industrial chillers, but not personal home, nice, good, sleek chillers that can cool down to 3 degrees. And that didn't happen. And we went through that process, and my business partner essentially ignited that. And he came to me because he saw that I was heavily invested into wellness. And my mission at the time was literally to just give what I got from you to other people. That was like, it really stuck with me. And if you could believe in me and I could get to where I was then, imagine if I gave that same belief to other people in my life, where could they get to? So,
Wow.
yeah, that's we started a culture.
Culture, that's the company
But
that
initially it started as Cold Tribe. It was Cold Tribe.
Tribe.
It was Cold Tribe.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was Cold Tribe. And
It's culture. It's become a culture.
yeah.
And you guys are doing, how many models of cold plunge do you have?
Now we have about 8 different
8 different models.
models
Some are
of cold
portable, some
plunges.
are more
Yeah, more
premium.
stationary, more bulky, more stationary. Ones that can stay outside, ones that can be inside.
And you also go
Saunas.
into saunas
Yeah,
because everyone needs a sauna with a cold plunge.
everyone needs a sauna with the cold plunge. Yeah,
Health and wellness. So you got the juices from your parents. You got the sauna, the cold plunge,
that's it.
and you
Yeah.
come in these workshops. You get emotionally healthy.
You get
By the way,
emotionally healthy.
for many years, or like because I started doing cold plunges a long time ago, I was like following Wim Hof, and there was only like one cold plunge supplier in like Austria or something like that.
Yeah, Australia. It was
Australia.
I cool sport.
Yeah, there you go. So I was
Mhm.
looking at that. They had the hot and the cold, and then I literally had in my checkout. I was gonna buy it, and it was like something stupid, like $15,000 at the time, and then shipping was another five, so I was already up to like $20,000, and I was just gonna do it like stupidly, just because that's what the only thing was available, and I was always like trying to be ahead of the game, and I guess I manifested your company because I was like, someone's got to do this locally and make this more affordable.
Yeah.
And then I went to that place where this guy was making it using beer chillers, and making these wooden boxes. And I showed up with like 10 G's cash, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy this. He's like, yeah, whatever. I just made this. You're not gonna buy this. I was like, here's the cash, and he gave me the thing. But now I've replaced it since because beer chillers just don't work for cold plunges. Like this is a heavy duty industrial system, which I go into every single morning. I literally feel amazing. It's like one of those things that you can do every single day, even though it's painful, but you feel amazing after. And it's
Yeah.
like an easy one, a good one. And, people should get into this, learning how to handle stress on the body that's good for good stress.
Yeah.
You put yourself into, and then you come out with like this rejuvenation for life. And for me, it's been, I I literally embrace challenges much better just from this. It's
Hmm.
like teaching my body, you can be in a challenge, you can face it, and it could be okay. My kids can be going crazy, and I could be okay. That's somewhat just from cold plunges
Hmm.
because I'm teaching myself you can do the uncomfortable and you
Hmm.
can be okay. And I'm doing that and training myself every single day,
Yeah.
besides all the health benefits it comes with.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's wild. So what's the plans with this? Are you gonna build a whole system of like now moving into the emotional type stuff? Because the physical well-being is
Yeah.
important. We see the emotional is kind of what built this.
Yeah. Yeah. The emotions is what definitely, the emotions clearing and being felt is what definitely built this, because I wouldn't have believed in myself. I wouldn't have felt the power to be able to go out and put myself out there and partner up with my business partner if I really didn't believe in myself. Like I remember the point where when Dan, my business partner, came to me with the idea, at first I didn't think it was a good idea, but I really believed in myself that if I actually went into it, I could market this thing. I could blow this thing up. Because I was so anchored in knowing like what this product could provide to people's lives. So when it came down to marketing it, I knew what the solution was already because I was the solution. Like I literally went through doing something uncomfortable, like facing your feelings, facing your demons, then consistently doing my best to work on it and go through life. And also having someone that really believed in me, I knew what this product could provide to people. And after doing the 60-day challenge and after seeing people come through it, it was easy to market because
It's
I knew the feeling and the desire that the market is going to want from this product. And of course, there was a lot of help from many big influencers and a lot of people around the world, and Wim Hof starting it and everyone talking about it and talking about the benefits and
yeah, but you
spreading the
stepped into
awareness.
it.
But we stepped into it. Yeah, I stepped into it because I believed in myself, because I faced my emotions when I was 18, but because I went on a journey and chose me and took responsibility for my life. All of what I did then is the reason why I was able to start this company today.
So so
Um,
so maybe so maybe if you didn't go on a workshop, you'd be working at Revitasize still. Like, what's the big deal?
Probably wouldn't be. Actually, you know what? I probably would still be working on Revitalize. I probably would. Who knows? Yeah, I probably would. I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have had the belief in myself to go out and be like, yeah, Mikey, you can go and do it, which was the biggest thing ever for me.
I think it's very cool what you said is that you're selling you because in the end of the day, you're selling your experience.
Yeah.
And I think that's, what allows me also to stand behind the product that I created with the workshop is like, I went through this process of going to a workshop and it literally shifted my entire life.
Yeah.
And because it worked for me, I want to sell you my experience.
Right.
So I want you
Correct.
to go through that. You did this whole cold plunge thing. You built like this little incubator, and you're like, I want to sell you this experience. And people are magnetized to you because you have a strong influence on people,
Hmm.
and you do things authentically, and you're about the truth.
Yeah.
That's what I've seen from you. So
Yeah.
when you're standing behind this culture thing, you're not selling a product, you're not selling an idea, a concept.
No.
You're literally selling your experience, which is why you're going to have the greatest level of success if you believe in yourself, you
Correct.
believe in your process.
Correct. Correct. And it's funny, all the best companies and all the best ventures always stem from a personal pain point where you went into it and you came out of it. My mom went through a devastating breakup with her business, went on a huge health journey, did, I think it was 60 days of juice cleanses straight, came back, took care of herself, and then said, hey, this just helped me get out of my funk. Let me help you. for you, you went on a workshop yourself. You started working on yourself. You came out of it being like, hey, I can bring this to the world because it helped me. And if it could help me, it could help you. Same thing for me. So I think that's where all the best ventures and all the best businesses stem from, is where you actually get personally impacted by it. Because now I'm not just selling a product. People are literally feeling my soul through the product. Like they're full blown feeling what I went through to get to where I went to go to.
It's a story.
It's a story. And it's a real story. It's not a made up story. Like there is a lot of made up stories today. It was a real story. It was like my life. It was literally my life. And it was your life, and it was my mom's life, and it was my dad's life, and all of these stories are actually really real. So when we put that story behind a product and we push it out to the world, people want to stand behind it because it's real and they see themselves in that story too. They resonate with the feelings, they resonate with the story, and hopefully my biggest hope is that people listen to the story, they feel the story, and they feel inspired by it, and they want to go and work on themselves because they care about the relationship, and they want to go start that business because they really have been eagerly waiting to, and it's their life mission or whatever it is, and they just want to put themselves out there and try and not be afraid to fail because they just want to keep creating and putting it out there. That's my biggest hope, and that's why I've never devoted away from this work, and which is why I always keep spreading the mission. And even to this day, we're running culture, and we're 4 years in. Um, I'm still going on workshops, and I'm still bringing people to workshops, and I'm still doing men's circles, and still spreading the message, because this is not a 7 year, this is not a 4 year, this is not a 1 year thing. This is a lifelong mission. And to me, I'm a very passionate, purpose driven person. I don't just work on anything because there's money in it. I always tell people all the time, I could have started many other businesses. We could start a business with that chair. By the way, there's this awesome chair out there that is absolutely fantastic. And this is an easy $1 million business.
Save my back, yeah.
It saved this guy's back. It saved my back. I could start it tomorrow. Maybe we could start making money on it. But I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it because I'm focused and I do things that I'm very, very passionate about that fuel my soul and essentially enlighten my heart, like really gets me going. I could start a business selling these countertops, probably put a website up, get some ads going. I'm sure we can get it out there and start making money.
What's the common denominator?
The common denominator between what?
Between selling the
chairs?
The chairs and the cold tubs. Is the person standing behind it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And as long as you believe in yourself, then yeah, you can do anything. And that's a belief I try to give over to people, which also I have to say, because I know you're doing a lot of gratitude on me being there and believing in you, and vice versa, you being there and believing in me, it's a quite unique relationship. You're younger than me.
Yeah.
And
how many years?
It's easy to fall into a relationship where I'm more like this fatherly role, where I'm like a mentor.
Yeah.
But we're friends.
Yeah.
And there's a belief in me, and I have a belief in you. And also, we don't really give over our beliefs in how we live our lives. Like, I'm a religious Jew, you're not necessarily. So, it's not something that I've needed you to become a certain way in order for us to be in a relationship. It's because we're connected to something so much deeper, which is just that human experience of, we're going through life together, and we just met each other, and we need to be able to believe in ourselves, and we have good energy that goes together. And but with no influence on you need to be something in order to be in relationship with me, or vice versa. So that's giving me a lot of credibility also for what I'm doing. And when I look at you, I don't want to say that I'm responsible for what you've created in your life, because you took it. Because you took the work that you did, and you made it happen. Not everyone does that.
No.
So there's something special about you that you took that. But at the same point, anyone could do that, right?
Anyone can. Yeah.
Now for an 18-year-old guy, and this is where I think you get a lot of people that will like shy away from the work.
Yeah.
But for an 18-year-old guy, who the hell wants to take life seriously at 18?
Right.
So you're a
No
little bit
one.
of an anomaly, aren't you?
Yeah.
What can you tell someone that's 18 to 25 who still wants to mess around, have a good time, of why they should be working on themselves? Like, I think it's an important point.
Yeah. It is an important point, and I think I'm a strong believer that no one just wants to work on themselves to just for the sake of working on themselves. Like if I went on a workshop on 18 because I hit rock bottom. Like that was my rock bottom. And I probably wouldn't have went on a workshop to work on myself or even think that I needed to work on myself if I didn't hit rock bottom. And I think that's the sad, unfortunate way a lot of people's lives work, including mine, is sometimes we don't feel like we need to work on ourselves until it hits rock bottom. And then there's nowhere but up. And you're literally nowhere, you're at the lowest point of your life. And it's kind of hard to get there when you're 18. It's hard to get there when you're 19 because there's so much fun and distractions, and you're in school and you're partying and you're drinking, and you have such a big social life because you have so many friends and there's so many things going on. There's an event every day, an event every weekend, and there's so much distractions. There's so much. So as a young 18, 19, 20-year old, it's kind of hard to make that choice. Like, hey, I actually want to go and work on myself and take life's hand and make it my responsibility and like actually go out and have a purpose filled mission and really really invest in your relationships that matter, like your parents. Like it's not an easy decision, not an easy decision. And I still meet young kids all the time that come and talk to me and they want that life, but there's not that many, and I don't think there has to be that many. But I think for the kids that do want to work on themselves, and for the guys that are 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, whatever age you're at, if you're feeling the call, like you want to go work on yourself, go for it. Go for the opportunity. Check in, reach out to a friend, reach out to someone that you feel safe with, reach out to Anochi workshops.
By the way, I also believe that if that the deep awakening that you're talking about, or the rock bottom, is almost like a targeted thing. Like God is targeting those people, those like the special souls that are gonna wake up a little bit earlier than everyone else.
Yeah.
Everyone has the opportunity to wake up. Everyone has the tools to wake up. But
Yeah.
like certain people are like waking up a little bit earlier, almost like
Hmm.
I feel that 18 to 25 for you was another incubator.
Yeah.
And the incubator is for all the guys that are going to come after you from that 18 to, let's say, even 30, because you can extend it a little bit,
Hmm.
of like that is the age range of people that are going to be gravitating towards you to say, hey, I resonate to your journey.
Yeah.
I hear the way you're talking
Hmm.
feels similar to me.
Yeah.
You're going to be a guide to those people.
Yeah.
You're going to be that person. Like, I believe we go through it in order to become guides for others.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true. It's very, very true. Like even on this past workshop, there was a 19-year-old, I believe, on it.
Yeah.
And it was so cool for me to see that because I was like, whoa, that was me. And I could feel the amount of fear and the anxiety just flowing through his blood. What am I doing here? This is this is like I'm so young, going through all these things. And yeah, I go back to my first workshop, and every person that was 30, 40, 50, 60 telling me, wow, you're so lucky that you're doing this at your age. And I look back and I reflect, I'd be like, yeah, that was I there's destiny. Like that was supposed to happen. This is my mission. That's why when I got off that workshop, I'm like, damn it, this is all I need to do. There's nothing else that needs to happen. I didn't know why, I didn't know where, I didn't know how it was gonna happen. I had zero clue that I was gonna start a product-based business. I had zero thought of that. That was not gonna happen. Right? I thought I was gonna go all into personal development and trying to spread the message and help as much as the world, but God took me into you need to go this way. And culture has been my own workshop. It has been my workshop to literally me going into a very serious relationship for the first time, which is my business partner, where we literally are both fully all in invested into creating this baby and nurturing this baby and raising this baby together. And the challenges of working together and the challenges of us being in two separate points of our lives, like me and you, he has a family, he has a kid, he has a wife. He's got probably a lot more bills and a lot more responsibilities than I do in my life. And I'm this young guy with full passion and purpose and mission and all this energy. Just wanted to take what I learned and everything that I've been giving to the world and put it right into culture. And it was like such a beautiful synergy that we both brought to the table. But there's so many challenges that come with that.
Of course.
And it's been my own big personal workshop of literally me going from a boy to a man, and now I'm becoming a leader essentially, and I'm leading a team with employees, and there's so much more. And I'm 25 years old, and it's like every chapter I'm going through, and culture is a chapter, and this is like my, I don't know how many years it's gonna go for. God willing, it goes for many more years. This is like one long workshop for me, essentially, of me learning about myself. And you're
What,
helping me.
yeah. And what's one lesson you've learned about yourself in this workshop experience that you started that you can give to the world over here, right now, right here?
From culture.
Yeah.
That's a good question. One lesson.
You can take more. You can give me three if you want. So just trying to make your job easy.
Yeah, trying to make the job easy. You know, I would say one of the lessons that I recently got, which you definitely helped me see, is that it's all about the relationship, especially with Dan. I think that was a massive, massive breakthrough because throughout these last 3 years, especially like our first year in starting this business, it's just go, 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 go mode. Got to get this done. We got to get to this event. We got to order the product. Everything is just like we're going, we're moving so fast, and we're just accomplishing so much at once. But we got into such a habit of doing that over the first 2 years that it's like we almost forgot to take a step back and be like, whoa, like, what did we just accomplish here? Like, what did we just create together? And we forgot that. I forgot that. And I'm this guy coming from personal development, helping other people feel their feelings and how to approach relationship. And I just hit a point in my business where I'm like, what the hell? Like, I feel like I just went right back to 18. And all the old beliefs started to come up again. And the business started bringing up all my internal challenges and my ego. And I'm I'm the best here and no one can tell me otherwise. And the money started coming in. I'm like, oh my God, we're running an 8-figure business. Like, who's going to stop us now? And it started getting in between me and my business partner. And that's when I'm like, all right, it's time to get back in it's time to get back into the work and actually work on myself while this business is going. So the other lesson that I learned in this business is that if I don't keep working on myself while building this business, then my business will be capped. My business will hit a threshold and I won't actually be able to take this business to the next level if I personally don't take myself to the next level. So,
Again, if it's your guiding people through your experience, it's
yeah,
always going to be about what you're experiencing
right.
is where you're at.
So the business is a direct reflection of me.
Yes.
So it hit a point in the business where I'm like, oh my God, it's literally my business is triggering me so much throughout my days. Like there's this system not working and that system. And because my business is growing pretty exponentially in a fairly hard product based business where there's so many different systems and channels in the business that need to play in harmony together. I started getting, oh my God, Mike, you need to step up here. Like you need to get back into the work. And that's when we made the decision to hire Mr. Adam uh, full time. And now we're building an office for you in the office. And I remember I told someone that as a joke. I told another business owner this joke. Like, yeah, I'm hiring my full time coach in my office and he's going to be there. And he's like, that's actually a great idea. And I was like telling it as a joke. Like, we didn't even speak about this yet. And he was like, whoa, that's an amazing idea. How do I do that? I would love that. And I'm like, yeah, it is a great idea because as a business owner, we're taking on so much responsibility. There's so many different new decisions that I'm making on a daily basis that I haven't made before. Stress is at an all-time high because again, I haven't really done it before. And the one thing that I can come back to is a space where I can be held and I can share what is actually going on for me.
Surround yourself with people that you can share with,
Yeah,
that you can create a space for you, and surround yourself with people that believe in you, that
yeah,
are going to encourage you to become more and to grow.
exactly.
Powerful lessons.
Very powerful lesson. It's probably the most powerful lesson of all time. And I was literally just speaking about it with a friend. And he was telling me that he wants to join a men's circle. He wants to come on a workshop. And he went to church for the first time last week. And he's like, I just went to church and I just started crying. I was like, I have no idea why I just started crying. And I'm like, yeah, because you have been really yearning for the time and the space to literally go and just be with yourself. And it's like so many of the times, so many people, not even just business owners, everyone is always running to the next thing. It's like even if you're not a business owner, okay, I'm running to my 9 to 5 job. Then after my 9 to 5, I'm going to go to the gym, and this we put these structures in place to make it feel like we have a control and a hold on life. Because if I do these certain things, then I will be good. And it's so funny. The guy who told me he went to church, he's like, but you don't live your life like that. Like, sometimes you'll wake up at 7 and do the plunge, and sometimes you'll wake up at 8 and not do the plunge and just go to work. And you seem to be very consistent with your energy. You seem to be like you're always on it. And I'm like, yeah, I've learned that I don't need to be dependent on external circumstances or activities to feel alive. I don't. That's not what I need. It can be a tool there that can help me sharpen it, but it's not the only reason why I'm gonna go out and go into battle. Like if I don't get my cold plunge in, am I not gonna come and show up that day? No. Um, so a lot of people do that.
It's the circumstance that doesn't define my life, being okay with what is,
Yeah.
and letting go of
Trusting the
control,
process.
trusting the process of life.
Yeah.
What an inspiring conversation. I never heard this full story, so I appreciate you. I
Yeah.
appreciate what you shared with the world, what you shared with
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
Hopefully your parents don't get upset about the information that you shared.
No.
And we'll see how it goes. Tune in, because this is the first of many conversations,
Yes.
God willing, between the two of us.
Yes.
And
Yes.
thank you for your time and your story.
Thank you.